Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just finished the season finale of Season 2 of My Adventures with Superman. So, the final episode of the show ends pretty much the way you'd expect the season to go, with the final battle against Brainiac, Superman having to go through one more fight with Supergirl after Brainiac attempts to control her mind one more time with his Eradicator program, and there's also every single major superpowered character gets to help out Superman and Supergirl as they head to Brainiac. This includes Steel, Livewire, Heatwave, Silver Banshee and her gang, everyone. So it is nice to see all these characters come back for the finale after they made sporadic appearances throughout the season. And heck, even Amanda Waller and Sam Lane get to reunite for a nice little scene. It feels like a lot of the other storylines of the season take a back seat to just Superman and Supergirl versus Brainiac, but that's the more immediate threat, so I get why that is. It kind of feels a lot like X-Men 97 when it comes to its pacing, though, and that the actual content is great. The animation's great, it's got tons of great emotional moments. Brainiac is especially devious here. But it feels like the low episode count prevents some storylines from reaching, I could argue, even greater heights. I'm not sure if they'll change that with a third season that's already been announced to be in production, but it is something noticeable, especially considering that I actually liked the season a bit more than the first. Not only because I enjoy the fact that Supergirl was essentially added to the main cast, but I also appreciate how the show, even with its greater scale and with its bigger battles, it never loses the heart and soul that made the first season so fun to begin with. It's interesting that we had to wait a few years for a new season of Invincible, and we'll have to wait a few years for a new season of X-Men 97, and yet this series got a new season a mere year after the first, and yet it still manages to maintain a pretty high quality of animation. Outside of a few scenes with buildings that looked kind of like animatics. They're not too noticeable, but they're noticeable enough to at least be worth mentioning. That being said, the fight in space with Kara and Clark fighting Brainiac was genuinely well done. Even if it did seem like them fighting so close to the sun was almost a bad move on Brainiac's part, considering that he knows everything about Kryptonians, so why would he fight Kara and Clark so close to the sun? Yeah, they pushed him there, but couldn't he, in theory, I don't know, move away from the sun to prevent his Kryptonian beam from not having the effect he thought it would have? Yeah, that's just like the one minor gripe that I have with the episode as a whole. But despite my minor complaints and some minor plot holes here, I do think that the season is genuinely well done. It happens to introduce a Kryptonian threat without villainizing the actual planet Krypton. This version of Brainiac is probably one of the most sinister versions I've seen, despite the fact that he's, an AI in this version. And this version of Supergirl is probably the most adorable and also the most easy to like that I've seen throughout a lot of her versions. Some people may say that she's an Android 18 knockoff, but honestly, I don't see that as a problem, especially considering that I appreciate not only her self-sacrificing nature, but also the fact that she introduces a new side to Clark that we haven't seen before. So, as a whole, I'll give the season a 9 out of 10, and I'm eagerly awaiting Season 3. See you next time.